Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. We are going to use the Cottage Wreaths stamp set today to make a Christmas card. It is in the kind of Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving section of the catalog, and I haven't used it as a Christmas card on any of the other cards this week. But as Throwback Thursday, I'm pulling in the Heartfelt Wishes and this beautiful Merry Christmas to complete this card. So I'm using soft seafoam as the wreath, and I'm using both the leaves and the stems in soft seafoam. It just gives it a little bit of depth. And then the 3 dots with balmy blue on a balmy blue background. And then the Merry Christmas is in soft seafoam as well. And I used my aqua painter with ink from the lids of the stamp pads, the ink pads, to splatter the background. It looked just a little bit empty and I didn't want to use an embossing folder on it. But the bow I've just cut out by hand, but when it stamps, it kind of stamps a little bit like one-dimensional. So I just took my balmy blue blends and I just added just a little bit. I'm just using the very, very edge of the brush just to add a little bit of depth into the bows themselves, just for a little bit of detail there. So if you want to color it up more, you can color it up more. 6 one, half a dozen of the other. And I've just fussy cut this out, and I've cut it really close with no kind of white space around it. And then I'm just coming around. The easiest way to cut things out is to turn the paper, not the scissors. And that way you can have kind of that continuous line with your scissors without the little zigzag pieces that sometimes if you move your scissors, sometimes you get that little kind of funny edge. So I'm just turning the paper itself and then just closing the scissors around. And this one I need to come in quite tight. There we go. And just over the top of that bow there, and then up the other side and around. And yes, like watching paint dry, but just fussy cut this bow out, and then the rest will go super, super quick. We'll get to the fun stuff where we get to splatter paint around. So we're going to just trim that off, and then I can come in and just trim the rest of that bow. And there we go. So that's the bow all done and dusted. Now just going to pop this out of the way for now because I don't want to splatter it when we get to that stage. So I am going to use soft seafoam, and I am stamping down the wreath kind of in the top half of the card. And then I'm going to stamp the flowers, or sorry, stamp the kind of the vine that goes in behind. It just, doing it in the same color just adds that level of depth. And we're going to ink up the Merry Christmas. We're going to pop it down towards the bottom of the card. Like that. There we go. That's all done. So I'm going to come in with my balmy blue and the dots, or the berries, and just pop them around randomly. And this ink, again, is one that dries a little bit lighter than when it's first wet. When I first did this, I thought, I'm not sure I like that. I wanted a kind of a more soft, subtle kind of Christmas card than with the real reds and the shaded spruce. But when it dries, it's much, much softer. Okay, so we're going to take our water marker or aqua painter, and we're just going to pick up some color and then just bang it on our finger. So you can even pick up color from the ink pad itself if you want. And you're just going to flick it around like that. And then we're going to come in with our green. I'm just going to shake that off. Just give it a good squish. There we go. And then pick it up and give it a splatter. It's probably hard to see on the video, all of the color going onto the card, but you just splatter as you need to. And then it's going to be just a little bit kind of wet, so just give it a minute. And while it's kind of drying a little bit, I'm going to just use a dimensional to pop the bow on, and I'm using one of the mini dimensionals, and I just want a small piece. So we're just going to take this and we're going to put it on the back of the bow like that, and then pop it down on the wreath like that. And then we can take, and I'm just going to, usually I would put the adhesive on the back of the paper card front, but I'm just going to do it this way because the front of the card is still a little bit wet with the water from the aqua painter. But I just want to finish the card. I don't want to smear it, but that is our card using the Heartfelt Wishes as our Throwback Thursday. Actually using the Cottage Wreaths for a Christmas card. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.